Basically, the modes of transport for delivery of goods have been classified into three categories, namely land transport, sea transport and air transport. We shall discuss some of the advantages and disadvantages of land transport, which is further divided into road transport and rail transport. Bullock carts, lorries, trucks, buses, etc. are the means of road transport. The merits of road transport are given below. 1. Road transports are economical. 2. It is safe. Damage to goods is generally much less in road transport because handling is minimum. 3. It is flexible. It can reach the actual place of loading and unloading. 4. It gives access even to the common man. 5. It is the only option, if goods are to be delivered within a particular locality, e.g., if door delivery is to be given by a dealer. 6. It offers wider coverage. Any domestic or national market can be reached by the mode of road transport. 7. Loading and unloading of goods can be done more quickly. 8. When compared to all other modes of transport, packing expenses are the lowest in the case of road transport. 9. The overhead expenses are also less in the case of road transport. Rail transport, for example, requires the construction of railway stations, erection of signals and so on. 10. Road transport is the only suitable mode of transport for marketing goods in rural places. The demerits of road transport are given below. 1. The carrying capacity is less. 2. Its efficiency is very much determined by the conditions of roads. Bad roads may cause such problems as breakdown and result in delay in the consignment reaching the marketplace. 3. It is slow. The competitive nature of Indian markets makes it undependable. 4. The rates are not standardized. 5. It is not suitable for carrying goods to very long distances, i.e., for foreign destinations. 6. Goods sent by trucks get lesser protection against rain, storm and so on. 7. Accidents occur often in highways. This makes road transport highly unsafe. 8. This mode of transport is highly irregular. The truck operators, generally, do not adhere to time schedule. Breakdowns and accidents further add to the problem. 9. During rainy season, the roads become unsafe and unfit for transportation. 10. As the truck operators are all private parties, their activities go unchecked. They charge a higher tariff and, as mentioned earlier, are not time-conscious either. Railways play a crucial role in the promotion of trade and industry in India. They carry consignments of different nature ranging from fruits and fish to coal and steel to different parts of the country. The merits of rail transport are given below. 1. Rail transports are the most suitable for carrying goods to distant places. 2. It helps to transport bulky and heavy goods. 3. Rail transports are more dependable than road transport. Bad road conditions make road transport undependable. 4. Bad weather does not affect rail transport as much as it affects road transport. 5. It is as economical as road transport and in some cases even more economical. 6. As railways are being managed by the government in India, the tariff charged for transporting goods is determined only by the Railway Ministry. The rates, therefore, are standardized. 7. Railway accidents are much less when compared to accidents in highways. This ensures safe transportation of goods to different destinations. 8. Railways will have to strictly adhere to the time schedule. This avoids delay. The demerits of rail transport are: 1. Not all places are connected by trains. 2. Trains cannot carry goods to the doorstep. From the destination point, one has to arrange to collect and carry the goods to the intended place. 3. Rail transport is generally not suitable for short distances. It is preferred mostly when the consignment is to be taken to distant places. 4. Railways have fixed routes. This mode of transport, therefore, lacks flexibility. 5. Railways have monopoly in India. This gives the administration an upper hand in the matter of fixation of charges. A road is an identifiable route, way or path between two or more places. 1. Roads are typically smoothed, paved, or otherwise prepared to allow easy travel. 2. Though they need not be, and historically many roads were simply recognizable routes without any formal construction or maintenance. 3. In urban areas, roads may pass through a city or village and be named as streets, serving a dual function as urban space easement and route. 4. The most common road vehicle is the automobile, a wheeled passenger vehicle that carries its own motor. Other users of roads include buses, trucks, motorcycles, bicycles and pedestrians. As of 2002, there were 590 million automobiles worldwide. Automobiles have caused air pollution which results to people getting asthma. Road transport offers a complete freedom to road users to transfer the vehicle from one lane to the other and from one road to another according to the need and convenience. This flexibility of changes in location, direction, speed, and timings of travel is not available to other modes of transport. It is possible to provide door-to-door service only by road transport. Automobiles offer high flexibility and with low capacity, but are deemed with high energy and area use, and the main source of noise and air pollution in cities. Buses allow for more efficient travel at the cost of reduced flexibility. 5. Road transport by truck is often the initial and final stage of freight transport. Rail transport is where a train runs along a set of two parallel steel rails, known as a railway or railroad. The rails are anchored perpendicular to ties or sleepers of timber, concrete or steel, to maintain a consistent distance apart, or gauge. The rails and perpendicular beams are placed on a foundation made of concrete, or compressed earth and gravel in a bed of ballast. Alternative methods include monorail and maglev. A train consists of one or more connected vehicles that run on the rails. Propulsion is commonly provided by a locomotive that hauls a series of unpowered cars that can carry passengers or freight. The locomotive can be powered by steam, diesel or by electricity supplied by trackside systems. Alternatively, some or all the cars can be powered, known as a multiple unit. Also, a train can be powered by horses, cables, gravity, pneumatics and gas turbines. Railed vehicles move with much less friction than rubber tires on paved roads, making trains more energy efficient, though not as efficient as ships. Intercity trains are long-haul services connecting cities. 6. Modern high-speed rail is capable of speeds up to 350 km per hour, 220 miles per hour, but this requires specially built track. Regional and commuter trains feed cities from suburbs and surrounding areas, while intra-urban transport is performed by high-capacity tramways and rapid transits, often making up the backbone of a city's public transport. Freight trains traditionally used boxcars, requiring manual loading and unloading of the cargo. Since the 1960s, container trains have become the dominant solution for general freight, while large quantities of bulk are transported by dedicated trains. Pipeline transport sends goods through a pipe, most commonly liquid and gases are sent, but pneumatic tubes can also send solid capsules using compressed air. For liquids, gases, any chemically stable liquid or gas can be sent through a pipeline. Short-distance systems exist for sewage, slurry, water and beer, while long-distance networks are used for petroleum and natural gas. Cable transport is a broad mode where vehicles are pulled by cables instead of an internal power source. It is most commonly used at steep gradient. Typical solutions include aerial tramway, elevators, escalator and ski lifts. Some of these are also categorized as conveyor transport. Airports serve as a terminus for air transport activities, but most people and cargo transported by air must use ground transport to reach their final destination. Airport-based services are sometimes used to shuttle people to nearby hotels or motels when overnight stay is required for connecting flights. Companies provide rental car, private bus and taxi services, while mass transportation is usually provided by a municipality or other source of public funding. Several major airports, including Denver International and JFK International, provide many types of ground transportation, often by working with livery companies and similar businesses. Smaller airports might only have a few private rental companies and a bus service. Larger airports tend to offer several different transportation options. Larger airports also sometimes have light rail and/or roads that loop around an airport to provide access from multiple terminals. As with air transport, sea transport typically requires use of ground transport at either end of travel for people and goods to reach their final destinations. Significant infrastructure is used at ports to transfer people and goods between sea and land systems. Infrastructure is the fixed installations that allow a vehicle to operate. It consists of a way, a terminal and facilities for parking and maintenance. For rail, pipeline, road and cable transport, the entire way the vehicle travels must be built up. Terminals such as stations are locations where passengers and freight can be transferred from one vehicle or mode to another. For passenger transport, terminals are integrating different modes to allow riders to interchange to take advantage of each mode's advantages. For instance, airport rail links connect airports to the city centers and suburbs. The terminals for automobiles are parking lots, while buses and coaches can operate from simple stops. For freight, terminals act as transshipment points, though some cargo is transported directly from the point of production to the point of use. The financing of infrastructure can either be public or private. Transport is often a natural monopoly and a necessity for the public. Roads, and in some countries railways and airports are funded through taxation. New infrastructure projects can have high cost, and are often financed through debt. Many infrastructure owners therefore impose usage fees, such as landing fees at airports, or toll plazas on roads. Independent of this, authorities may impose taxes on the purchase or use of vehicles. Because of poor forecasting and overestimation of passenger numbers by planners, there is frequently a benefits shortfall for transport infrastructure projects. Humans' first means of land transport was walking. The domestication of animals introduces a new way to lay the burden of transport on more powerful creatures, allowing heavier loads to be hauled, or humans to ride the animals for higher speed and duration. Inventions such as the wheel and sled helped make animal transport more efficient through the introduction of vehicles. However, water transport, including rowed and sailed vessels, was the only efficient way to transport large quantities or over large distances prior to the Industrial Revolution. The first forms of road transport were horses, oxen, or even humans carrying goods over dirt tracks that often followed game trails. Paved roads were built by many early civilizations, including Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley Civilization. The Persian and Roman empires built stone-paved roads to allow armies to travel quickly. Deep roadbeds of crushed stone underneath ensured that the roads kept dry. The medieval caliphate later built tar-paved roads. Until the Industrial Revolution, transport remained slow and costly, and production and consumption were located as close to each other as feasible. The Industrial Revolution in the 19th century saw a number of inventions fundamentally change transport. With telegraphy, communication became instant and independent of transport. The invention of the steam engine, closely followed by its application in rail transport, made land transport independent of human or animal muscles. Both speed and capacity increased rapidly, allowing specialization through manufacturing being located independent of natural resources. With the development of the combustion engine and the automobile at the turn into the 20th century, road transport became more viable, allowing the introduction of mechanical private transport. The first highways were constructed during the 19th century with macadam. Later, tarmac and concrete became the dominant paving material. After World War II, the automobile and airlines took higher shares of transport, reducing rail to freight and short-haul passenger. In the 1950s, the introduction of containerization gave massive efficiency gains in freight transport, permitting globalization. International air travel became much more accessible in the 1960s, with the commercialization of the jet engine. Along with the growth in automobiles and motorways, this introduced a decline for rail transport. After the introduction of the Shinkansen in 1964, high-speed rail in Asia and Europe started taking passengers on long-haul routes from airlines. Early in U.S. history, most aqueducts, bridges, canals, railroads, roads, and tunnels were owned by private joint stock corporations. Most such transportation infrastructure came under government control in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, culminating in the nationalization of intercity passenger rail service with the creation of Amtrak. Recently, however, a movement to privatize roads and other infrastructure has gained some ground and adherence.